We got a real ugly one today. You can see that this thing's been taking moisture for a long time. It's made out of these concrete bricks, blocks, if you will. They used to be real popular, but you don't see much of it anymore. There's a lot of moss growing on here. People have capped this over and over. And if you look, it's actually kind of like turning back to sand here. So every time it rains, it's just, this water is just storing in here, and obviously it can't get out. And then we've had a bunch of stuff go wrong here, like these metal pipes coming out of the chimney. I don't even know what they're for, but they shouldn't be here. So we have to figure out what these are for. Should never have any kind of galvanized pipe going through a chimney or into a chimney. You can see one little piece of this that's left galvanized. The rest is kind of just rusted out. The homeowner doesn't know what it's for, so we're gonna have to get to the bottom of it. And then, someone tried to cap the chimney because it's got water coming in, and he just had this gas unit put in a fireplace down on the first floor. You can see this is how most stove shops will install, around my area anyway, will install one of these. They'll just silicone this top plate down to garbage, and they just put it in, but you can see that they've siliconed this down to straight garbage. And usually you'd want a better termination than that, so we have to, we'll have that looking better when it's done. And the lead work, at first glance it doesn't look so bad, but then you see this big area where it's like a wallow here where water can puddle in here. So we're just gonna start ripping stuff up and getting to the bottom of this. And all these nails are rusted. If you look under the shingles, they're all rusted. This is an area where water's definitely getting in. So and this brickwork, if you will, is pretty ugly stuff. It actually, some people might try to save it, and maybe you could, but it's really ugly, and some of it is just falling apart too much. So we're actually just going to demo this all the way down to the roof and rebuild it out of brick. That will give us a chance to see what's gone wrong with this lead flashing, why so much water is coming in the house every time it rains. So they have counter flashing and step flashing underneath. And it's hard to see the failure point here, but I'm sure we'll see it. It's right here has got to be a bad area, and then also this area that's holding water. Let me just, before we get too far, just get my roofing bar under here, because I bet this is holding water right under here, under this first piece. Oh wow, okay. So we don't have a straight up puddle, but we've just got a strip of lead. What is this one doing? Why is this one here? It doesn't even bend upward. Okay, so we're not actually holding water there, but it's got that hole there. But I think I might have just done that with my roofing bar. Yeah, geez, I don't know what's going on here, but it looks like just a straight up hole into it. Looks like any water that collects in here might end up it can't get out, and it just finally seeps into the house. I don't know, but we're gonna try to fix this whole area and make it watertight. So yeah, we're gonna get on with the demo. Nice easy one here today. That the roof isn't steep. It's easily walkable, and it's just a ranch, so not much of a hike up the ladder.
I'm not making bullshit pay. I think I'm doing fine.
You're making great pay.
Yeah.
Paying.
You're in the Matrix.
That was the dumbest thing you ever said on camera. You guys make great pay. That's all I'm gonna say. For your age, and how hard you work, you're overpaid. Look at this. Oh my God. Look at this pond that they've built in here. Okay, so they got the concrete, they got lead on top of all this. And then look at the water in there. Oh my God. It's almost deep enough to go fishing in. Like, what? Oh man.
At least it's holding it.
Well, it probably holds it to a certain point and then it leaks out into the house. All right, so now we're starting to see what this, we drained all the water out into the chimney. We can see that someone put a galvanized piece onto this flue to put a cap on it. Seems like a huge waste. I don't know why it was done like that, but yeah, so that's what that piece is. We still have to figure out what this is. And of course, I don't know if you can see that, but we found wood in the chimney. They use that to support all the stuff to hold their concrete crown wash on here, which, you know, it's hard to tell. It's really hard to know what's wrong with your chimney until you start opening it up, and then you can see this stuff. You can only guess until it's open. But yeah, some people put wood in chimneys. Doesn't make much sense, but people do it. Let's take a look in here. This flue's pretty loose here. It's all twisted. So we'll have to reset some of these. There's this black substance on the back that's really like sticky and slimy when you grab the back of these things. Seems to be like it's just creosote been leaking in the chimney. Although it does feel like a little bit, well, it feels slimy, probably because it's been so wet for so long. It's like slimy kind of creosote or something. I don't know. It's weird. Normally it doesn't smell like creosote, but it's like black and slimy. Maybe it's just some mildew growing on the inside. Maybe that's what it is. So we got this galvy pipe. This galvy was on top of this flue. And that galvy pipe goes down to, I'm not sure, but maybe down to the basement. We'll have to see where that one goes to. This is the fireplace flue. Or one of them, I suppose. So I got my light here. So you can see this flue is peeling. And then now that we're getting down to the flashing, we can start to see why this has been leaking. It's hard to tell when they put the silicone all here. You can't see how far it goes in, but the problem is this only turns into it's just a small amount. And a lot of people do this and think that it's okay. They just get a little handheld, 4-inch grinder, and they cut in as deep as they can with a 4-inch grinder. And it's just not deep enough. I mean, if you look at how deep this is, water absorbs beyond that quickly. It only has to absorb in, a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch to get beyond this lead. And then it's behind the lead. And then once it's behind the lead, it's into your house. So, this flashing was cut in after there was water problems. And it just wasn't cut in deep enough, especially because this block has an aggressive face. And to do that with the 4-inch or 4.5-inch grinder, it's just not enough. You have to cut in. I always cut in 1.5 inches. I feel like 1.5 inches is enough. Some people don't want to go that deep, but then you face the absorption problem. Water absorbs beyond this, and it's behind the lead. So I thought initially this went to some sort of flashing pan in here because it comes out above the lead, but this is some kind of conduit pipe or something. I have no idea what it goes down for. I don't know if they I don't know if it goes down to the fireplace. I don't know if it was for air, if they had some kind of electrical wire running up here. It's kind of strange. I'll have to, I haven't been in the house yet, so I'll have to take a look in the house and see if I can figure out what that goes to. Maybe it was just some kind of thing where they thought they were going to get air from it. I don't know. But it's like a galvanized electrical conduit. You can see the galvanized when anytime the galvanized touches the mortar, it kind of rusts out. You see on this side where it was touching the mortar, it all gets all rusted out. This is why galvanized doesn't go on a chimney, because it rusts out. This side looks fine, but the other side is just about rusted through, and who knows what it looks like down there. Surprised it's not more rusted through, to be honest. Just wrapping up on the demo here. Got all the flashing out, got all the brickwork down, and I went inside and was able to figure out what these are for. These two flues, these both go to some kind of, it's like a makeshift kind of built-in Gen Air downdraft system, like an old cooktop built into the chimney. So like down here, the chimney, it's like, it must be 12 feet wide or 10 feet wide. It's big, and it's made out of all the same brick that the white concrete brick that the chimney was made out of. I think this is an electrical conduit that came up here and out the front for some reason. So I'd like to just cut it and get it out of here, but who knows if this wire is live or not. I don't have a tester on me, so I'm just gonna tuck it into the chimney and just leave it. It's got some silicone on the end of it. And then these flues, I talked to the homeowner. He doesn't ever want anything to do with these flues again, so we're just gonna leave these flues. We're not gonna bring them back up. So we're gonna clean this one up and bring it back up. And then this one, we're gonna redo a couple here and maybe add a piece to the top, so we have a proper termination for that top plate onto a flue instead of onto the concrete crown wash. I was looking at the ice and water shield. Ice and water shield actually looks like it's pretty good for the most part. Only thing I noticed here was like they're on this corner. We didn't get good coverage here on this corner for some reason. So there is a hole that goes in right there. And then there was some aluminum step flashing that was nailed in, along with the lead step flashing. And the problem is when you start doing that, you start nailing right next to the chimney, like real close to the chimney. I don't like that. I don't like putting holes next to the chimney if you can avoid it. That's why I don't really care for the step flashing method, especially with the small aluminum flashing cards, because they don't stick out very far and you're nailing real close to the chimney. If you can hand make your own flashing cards at a lead and end up nailing it way away from the chimney so that you're not nailing through your ice and water shield, I like that idea better. So the ice and water shield back here is decent as well, but you can tell that there was some puddling on here, right? And you see all these rusted nails, and I think that you know, with water sat here long enough, it was getting through those rusted nails. So we're gonna have to come up with a way to pitch this from the middle outward, so we have water running out instead of just ponding here and just sitting, because obviously that's not the best idea. So I'll build the middle up and make sure the water pitches out, and we'll bring a garden hose up here and test it out, make sure it's pitching off. And but other than that, yeah, the ice and water shield, they actually did a decent job with it. Oh, we just got to the job this morning and just got everything set up to start laying some brick. And of course it's raining, because this year it rains literally every day, so you can't even plan work. So looks like we got a couple hours of what's going to be heavy rain and thunderstorms, and we're going to try to get this going, and hopefully we can outlast last long enough to get some good weather here. So we're going to get started here, and just got to move some of these brick and get some mud up here, and we're going to be laying. Get this chimney all squared up and ready to go. So I got this canopy after I lost my last one. My last brand new one got mangled. And I went to Ocean State Job Lots and got another canopy, and decided to switch to a different brand this time. And geez, this one's leaking on the inside. Hopefully it's not so bad that everything gets wet, but I got the boys down there mixing some mud right now, hoping to get in some brick here, but surprised to see my brand new canopy is leaking. So I'm getting a little bit of getting a start here, and you know, the chimney coming through the roof, all the block work's really rough. So you know, that's something you got to deal with when you're trying to get it level. I finally just got this perfectly level across the front. So the important thing is when they're out like this, you don't have to always get it in one course, because a lot of this is going to hide when I put the flashing on. So the flashing will probably go to this course here, and then everything on top of that's going to be level. So you can see if you look at my level here, I mean, it's really pretty far off, you know, from one side to the next. And you just gotta kind of work stuff, and you gotta do it one course at a time. Like this one, I'm just getting this one to the point here where it's getting close. It's not there yet. You can see how the joint tapers to nothing on this side, tapers. I've been tapering it every course, but now I'm to the point where, okay, that's where my lead's gonna go on here. Everything above this has to be level. So I have to have this on this next course of brick here. When I put that next brick in, it's gonna be perfectly level. And that might mean I have to cut some of these bricks. So the next brick that goes in here, this one's too high. So I'm probably gonna cut it and then start laying it like that. And then that back course, I'm gonna have to, that joint's probably gonna be, it might be too big. So I'll have to cut some brick to go across the back. And that's kind of the struggle when you're doing this type of work is, you know, just trying to get everything nice and level and true coming through the roof. It's challenging sometimes, but I find that because I'm going to cut in the flashing after, it's a lot easier to get everything perfect right where I want it, because I don't have flashing in the way. I'm not pounding on my brick trying to like make the bends for the flashing. So by the time I get to here, this course, one above this one, everything's going to be perfectly true and square and perfect, and then I can just continue up the rest of the way from there. If the flashing was in the way, or I was trying to do the flashing as I go, it would be a lot tougher to make this chimney nice and perfect. Kind of the reason why I like to do the flashing after. Well, the rain finally stopped. It's actually kind of nice out now. It's a little humid, but not bad. So the chimney's up to a point where now everything is perfectly level, perfectly square and true to the measurements I want it. And I've just carved out a couple spots where I can put my profiles on, and you know, these are just the two spots where I'll put the clamps in. And you know, I realize I don't have too high to go here, but I've got these 5-foot poles, and even just putting it on for a couple of feet worth of brickwork will make it just go that much faster. I won't have to, you know, plumb every single corner, every course. So it'll be a little bit quicker, and it will stay perfectly true. Once I get those on, they go up super straight. But you can see that, you know, had I been installing the lead flashing the whole time, I'd be able to hook my profiles on here. So one of the reasons, you know, why I'm cutting in the lead after is to be able to get my profiles on, and I can clamp it here and I can clamp it here, and I don't have to worry about the lead being in the way. And obviously if the lead was out here, it would build out the corner and I couldn't put my profile on. I'd have to start it way up top here. And now that I don't have lead in the way, I can make sure everything's perfectly square, everything's watertight, like jointed, 100%. And then I get my metal and my ice and water shield on there. It would be a pain to do it after I put the lead flashing on. And then not to mention when I go to lift this lead flashing to get it out of the way, to put the metal and the ice and water shield, it hairline cracks the mortar joints. You can't help it, especially, if you do it next day, it'll hairline crack it. In this way, I really feel like, for me, this is a better method. I know that some people look down on it and it's not for everyone, but I've just done so many the other way, and I've solved a lot of water problems over the years on problem chimneys, and this is the way that I prefer to do it. I think it's a better method, and it took me a long time to come around to that because I was just so stuck in my way because I had done so many the other way. I thought that I had to flash it first. It was just the way to do it. And, slowly I am evolving. And I think, it's for the better. Some people maybe not. Some people wouldn't think it's for the better, but I do it because I think it's a better way to do it. Here we go again. From sunshine back to rain. Well, I think I've had enough. Almost time to wrap this up. I'll probably come finish up tomorrow. Finish up the brickwork and then maybe do the lead some other time. Tomorrow's the weekend, so I might come in for just a couple hours, finish up. All right, pro tip for you. The flues that came out of this chimney that we're trying to match are just that one. These ones aren't getting rebuilt, just this one and this one. The flues that came out of here were made by Superior Clay. This flue, it's a popular company. It's made in Urchville, Ohio. They've been around forever. They literally make some of the worst flues that you could lay. They're all dilapidated. They've always been like this. Like, I don't know if you can appreciate the lip here, but there's quite a lip, right? Probably can't see it. You probably can't even see how bad this one is, but the ones that I picked for this job, believe it or not, are some of the best ones that I could find in the pile. So this is nowhere near square. And then you look at this side and that side. It's pretty darn good compared to the other side. Anyhow, yeah, Superior Clay, they're probably one of the most popular companies, but I avoid these flues at all costs unless I'm like not near a place that carries other flues, or like this one, I was trying to match these ones, so I'm like, well, they'll probably be really close in size, and they were, because flue sizes can be all over the map. So if you're building a new chimney and you're working with these, it's a chore to get them straight. The best flue manufacturer that I've ever used, and I love their flues, it's Sand Cool. They're out of Ohio as well, and Sand Cool is with I think it's SANKUHL, Sand Cool. Their flues are excellent. They must have really good quality control or a different process. Once in a while you get a flue that's a little bit out for them, but they're pretty consistent compared to these guys. So if you want to do nice work, you have to use nice product. And these ones are okay for this job and they match what's coming up. If I was doing a new project, I would travel to go get a better flue from somewhere else. That's a wrap. Enough for one day. Look at this weather. Sun shining, it's raining. Raining, shining. Ridiculous. What do you say, Peyton? Enough for one day?
Yup.
Hey, what's on your face?
I don't know. What is it?
Mortar.
Oh.
You got more mortar on you than you got on the mud board.
Probably.
All right, the boss is on the job today. We just got all set up. We're ready to finish this brickwork up. Tell me something. What's your name?
Rada.
Rada. How old are you?
5.5.
5.5, but you turned 6 this week.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, Thursday. Your birthday's in a couple days.
I know, but I didn't turn 6 yet.
Not yet. Do you think Mom would let you out of the house with your hair like that? No chance. Okay, so what are we looking at today? You want to talk to me about what's going on here?
We're building a new chimney because the other one didn't work.
It didn't work, no.
So we had to rebuild it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what are we going to do for the rest of the day?
We are going to build the rest.
Build the rest?
Mm-hmm.
Using what?
Bricks and metal.
Metal? No. The metal is just so just to help us. But brick and mortar, that's mortar. That's the stuff we call mud. Yep. Okay. You excited to be on YouTube?
Yeah.
Are your sisters going to be jealous? Yeah.
They will be jealous I got donuts without them.
Shh, don't talk about that. Okay. So you've been begging me every day for months about having a YouTube channel. You and the 2 other girls.
I know.
If you had your own YouTube channel, what would you do on it?
Get some friends.
Some friends?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you have to do something on the channel. What would you do? How would you get people to watch?
I'll play hide and seek, 100 buttons, 24 hours being a mom, and
What?
reading how they can't read. I just started to learn how to read, and I want to teach you guys how to read too.
Is that right? What kind of books would you read?
I'll read.
Like Harry Potter? You can read Harry Potter, maybe?
I could read an animal book.
Oh, animal books. Those are fun.
I could read food books.
Yeah. Oh, like recipes? Oh, because you can bake, right? Not so much?
And not so much. I can only bake bagels, toast, sandwiches, and I have more I can still do. I have salad, and
Okay.
that's all.
That's all? Cool. All right, so you're going to help me do this today?
Yeah,
I'll lay the brick, and then you're going to help me do the joining and brushing and stuff?
yeah.
So if I need a brick, you can get me a brick. And then Peyton will mix the mud and bring up the brick from the driveway.
I know.
But then you'll help me when it gets up here.
I know.
Yeah, okay. Deal.
Deal.
Do you feel like a YouTuber now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you happy? All right. Let's
But
get...
you have a loose tooth. And it's bent forwards.
That's actually not okay. Just because you're on TV doesn't mean you can pick me apart. I know I have a crooked tooth.
I have no crooked tooth. I'm almost gonna lose a tooth when I'm 6. We lose tooths when we're 6.
Yeah, probably.
And we grow tooths, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okie dokie. We're gonna get some work done.
Yep. I have a mud ball. I'm not afraid to use it.
Don't you dare throw that. Not up here. What are you doing?
Making mud balls.
Your hands are gonna get all dried out.
This is not. Not by water.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
Didn't warn me.
I said don't say that.
All white.
What are you selling back here?
What?
What are you selling?
I'm selling cupcakes, chocolate cupcakes, vanilla waffles, chocolate waffles, and I'm doing... Today we're going to be fixing up these cracks with stuff.
With stuff. What cracks? Oh, that spot. Okay, so we're gonna be putting flashing down around the chimney. Yep. First, we have to remove the shingles around the chimney. Yeah. And then we're gonna put ice and water shield around the chimney. Yeah. And then we're gonna acid wash the chimney. After we acid wash the chimney with muriatic acid, we are going to cut in new lead flashing.
Yep.
Yep. Cool. Sounds like an easy day. Yeah?
Yeah, but where do we get that stuff from?
It's all on the ground.
Oh.
We're gonna bring it up. You ready to go? Ready to work? Show me your muscles. Come on. Come on. At the beginning of when I started this chimney, I was telling you that the ice and water shield that they had put around it, they did actually a decent job putting it on. But so this is a problem that you see once in a while, where they put the ice and water shield on the plywood sheathing, and then they come over it with this synthetic underlayment. Well, when water gets in there, ice and water shield is supposed to be your last resort, like it's supposed to protect you, right? But now if water gets under here, it gets through the shingles or whatever, and it's on top of the ice and water shield. It's running under this synthetic underlayment. You can see it runs right in underneath, and it kind of makes the ice and water shield pointless. So what we're going to do when we put it back, and we're going to put all of our, Peyton's cutting the edge metal now, but we're going to put the edge metal around the chimney, nail it in so it's nice and tight, and we have something for the ice and water shield to stick to. This is just, for people that wonder, this is just mill finished aluminum drip edge. It's for the EPDM rubber roofing drip edge. And so we tend to use that stuff because it's easy to find. And it works pretty good. It is aluminum, so some people are worried about aluminum having some kind of reaction, but with the lead, but it's all going to be covered with ice and water shields, so it won't be touching the lead. And aluminum against mortar is completely fine. The only reaction that ever occurs is when you put aluminum in wet mortar, when it's initially setting up, and then after that it's fine. But this mortar is obviously dry, so no issues. So when we put the ice and water shield on, it will come down and it will come over the shingle. It will wrap up and be over the shingle. So if any water ever gets down through, it's going to be coming out underneath the shingle somewhere. It won't be able to get under this synthetic underlayment. All right, so... And this is how they did it on the back side, where they just came over a little bit. So we're gonna pull all this off and then some shingles here so we get our ice and water shield over a little more. This is the edge metal after it's nailed on. You can see you don't have to, it doesn't have to be perfect. All you're trying to do is get that ice and water shield to grip, and when it comes around, it's gonna grip onto that other piece of metal. So yeah, we just crudely cut them and then nail them in. Helps bridge the gap between the plywood and the brick, so there's no hole, and then it really helps to hold that ice and water shield, because the ice and water shield won't stick to the brickwork. It just won't. Clean brickwork, it just peels down over the years, but the metal will never, it won't let it go. So that's why we use the metal. Ice and water shield is on all the way around, and we've just got these couple blankets and tarps on here to do the acid wash. So we just sprayed the whole chimney with water, and I'm just gonna let that absorb for a second, and then I'm gonna spray it again with water, and then I'm gonna brush it with some muriatic acid. Got a couple different brands here. I'm just using up the both, each bottle, the rest of what's left, and just gonna dump it into a clean bucket of water. Brush it on with that, and I'm gonna let the acid do the work. If there's any big spots, like chunks like this, I'll have to scrape those off. They come off pretty easy, but yeah, what you don't want to do is just put the acid on there while the brick's dry. So you gotta hose it first, get some water to absorb in there. That way, when we put the acid on, although it's pretty short-lived, you know, we do it all within a few minutes, that the acid's not absorbing into the mortar or into the brick. So that's why we want to wet it and make sure it's pretty good and saturated first. Okay, just gave it a quick acid wash. It's hard to catch it on camera, so you know, I don't have anybody to really film. We were both using the acid, and you don't want to get it all over your camera or whatever when you're doing it. And it's a quick kind of thing. You don't want to take long doing it. So yeah, it's all washed up now, and it should dry nice and clean. And then we'll give this a few minutes to dry, and we're going to start cutting the motor joints to put our lead in. Okay, what's your favorite thing about coming to work with Dad?
Happy Meal.
Happy Meals? You're a lucky duck. Let's have a look. All right, you skinned it a little bit. What happened?
I fell on something hard.
Fell on something hard? Do we need the trauma kit? Yeah? You want to put some blood stopper on it? Tourniquet?
Can we have a Band-Aid on it?
Oh, that will suffice?
Yeah, in case
Okay.
it starts bleeding.
Go get the kit. You're not going to limp like that across the job site, are you?
I need to. It hurts when it stands up straight.
Were you running and you fell? Oh,
I tripped actually.
you tripped. Well, you know, construction's not for everyone. Is this something you think you can handle? Yeah? We'll just put a Band-Aid on it and you'll be fine? Okay. Trauma kit. What do we got in here? Anything good? No, push the button. Flip it up. What are you after?
What?
Look at this kit's been ravaged. It's been ravaged. Look at this. That's a lifesaver right there. Can't tell you how many times those have come in handy. Celox, huh? Some blood clot on there. What do we need? Oh, we got a Band-Aid right here.
Yeah,
Some burn gel. Just a Band-Aid? What if we get a butterfly? Why don't you find one that's a butterfly?
okay.
Do we get a butterfly Band-Aid? Do you know what the butterfly one is? Look at this box, it's just crushed.
I know the butterfly.
And then who puts their trash back in here?
I don't.
Is that the boys?
Probably. I found a butterfly.
Oh, you know what the butterfly is. Perfect. That one will go on your knee nice. All right, good. We got it, look. We almost had to tourniquet that one. Haven't had to use it yet, but that was a close call. Do you know how to install it?
Yeah, it's
Don't stick it together. Oh, this is why you're not on the ice and water shield team. Okay, go ahead. Nice and easy. Easy. You got it? Stretch it out. Okay, smooth the ripples down right here. There you go. That's about the best kind of Band-Aid you can get right there. One of the, what are they, Curad? Butterflies? Those things stick really well. Yeah? Good to go?
yeah.
Let's see if your limp went away. Let's see if you can run that way with it. Is it better now? 100%? All right, let's get back to work. Here we go. I'm gonna water test this before I put my cap shingles on and before I put this piece of counter flashing on.
You got something here?
Yeah, do a nice job. Okay, let's see if that water sheds out. There we go. It's a little bit lumpy right there. I'll have to straighten it a little bit more, but basically we're getting it to shed, and now we can move on with the next steps. All right, this is what it's looking like. We're all buttoned up. Everything's cleaned up. Brick's been washed, roof's been washed. Just flooded this all out. Drains out real nice. No water's holding here. Cap shingles on. Put some silicone around that, just in case. Had some ice and water shield on one side of it, but I couldn't do all around it. It doesn't have much of a flange on it, so I was like nervous. It only goes up like 1.5 inches, so I just silicone behind it. Yeah, that's it. Oh, so yeah, I reconnected the liners to the fireplace insert, and then I silicone this plate back down. But those liners, they have like a memory in them, so they want to twist. So I'm just gonna leave these brick up here for some weight so it doesn't twist until that silicone sets up, and then I'll just fix it when I come back. There's a custom stainless cap that I'm gonna put on here in about 2 weeks whenever it comes in. So that will go right over the top of all this and cover the entire chimney and extend beyond on all sides to help protect the chimney. You know, we just want to keep as much water off it as we can. Best way to do that is by putting a custom cap on that covers the entire thing.